Hello there. Welcome to my views and news. Welcome to this live chat session. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you for responding with yes, viewers. Things are happening so rapidly in Ethiopia. Just last night, I did a video about a likely plan by the government to start arrests, and I said that maybe in coming days we could see start of a large scale campaign of arrests targeting government officials, mostly from the Amhara region. Now, another very important development that just an hour ago, an activist who has backing of Ethiopian military, who has backing of Ethiopian government leveled serious allegations against a Tigray general that he wants to fuel conflict in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Who is this activist? Who is this general? And is this a way of preparing ground for large scale arrests in the capital? And why is TPLF being accused? Details for you in this live chat. Secondly, deadline for surrendering given to Fano fighters has been extended. A week ago, the government issued 1 week ultimatum to Fano. The ultimatum expired today, and Amhara regional government, just a few hours ago, issued a new ultimatum. We'll analyze this development too. Why is that a new ultimatum has been issued? Have any Fano fighters surrendered? Why is the need for the issuing of a new ultimatum? These are two main news stories in this live chat. Let me welcome the participants who have joined this live chat session. Samuel Faleke, Klaus News, the first one who commented. Klaus New, a relatively new viewer, but I almost see him daily now in live chats. Samuel Faleke, brother, stays in touch with me through different mediums. Sammy S, is it cold in Pakistan now? Yes, cold in Pakistan these days. Speed 5 says hi. Yem Doss says welcome. Abe Kareo says hello, brother. Thank you, Abe Kareo. Fact check. Hi, Sajid. Peace to you. Thank you, fact check. Habibi, what's the conspiracy? I'll speak on that, Habibi. Belbib says hi. Sajif, I'm Sajid. Mama Africa says hi. Yunus Desta's message retracted. Peace and love says bring your daughters. My daughters want to interview, by the way. They want to interview me. They want to interview about this channel, about the audience, about my work. So soon, I think they'll be interviewing me, which I will upload to this channel. And we have Teddy Fan. Hello, Sajid. PP is offering telecom for sale. Are you ready to invest in Ethiopian economy? No one is ready to invest in Ethiopia, by the way, these days. Erotia First is another viewer who has joined. Somali Region News says well done. Tamasgan Work says yes. Voice of Truth says yes. Baka Garbi says yes. A says hello. Yamane Fisiha says yes. Phoenix says TPLF is embroiled by infighting due to power struggle. They don't have the capability to subvert Addis. Yes, very important point. That TPLF is faced with internal rifts. Mr. T, chooser choice chosen. Lulu A, SFA by Theo, Alex Avoke, a regular participant. Egzaber, brother, stays in touch with me. Mende M, Sammy S, Gizahagan joined too. Ephraim Tesfai, A, Adam, Mr. T, Abel Daniel, General Komsa, Dakir Salah, Chat GPT World Order. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Warm welcome to all of you who have made it to this live chat session. Chat GP maybe is calling me names. Uh, Feel free to comment. I won't ban you. Only YouTube AI bans people. Those who criticize me, those who call me names, I don't care about that. But just write a comment only once. Sammy asks, could we go to point and then comment the current situation? General Komsa, it's a bot. Okay. Muhammad says, you are in love with government enemy always, regardless your citizenship. I am not in love with anyone, by the way. Should we start the live chat? Should I speak on the first development? A claim made by pro government backed elements. So I think we should start this. Later, I'll take your questions and then we'll talk about the second development, too, which is also an important development, what extension of the uh, deadline issued a week ago. Adam is asking about third round of talks between Ola and government. I have a little bit information about this question too a little later. Can I start now? Meskaram Girma says hello. Hello, Meskaram Girma. Baka Garbi, I appreciate your tireless work to keep us informed about our home. Thank you, Baka. Go ahead, says Baka. Uh, yeah, Samuel, let's leave ultimatum aside. Let's talk about the first part of first news story, and that is about Addis Ababa, TPLF. Let me start, please. Now, I've been covering Ethiopian affairs, Eritrean affairs for around 3 years now. And gradually I have learned the background of people, which activist is backed by which party, which politician is close to military, which politician is more of a hardliner, etc. I know who PP activists are. Everyone knows, I think, those who follow Ethiopian, Eritrean political developments, they know which activists have huge backing of Ethiopian military, Ethiopian government. If you remember a few days ago, Ethiopian military awarded medals to social media activists. And these social media activists have been blindly spreading the narrative of Ethiopian military since the breakout of war between TPLF, Tigray fighters, and Ethiopian government in 2020. And some of these activists were shown as if they fought a war alongside Ethiopian National Defense Force. One of such activists is very close to the military, close to Ethiopian government officials. Whenever he speaks, obviously there's government behind him. Government uses these mouthpieces to speak when government does not want to speak directly. So we know where they're speaking from. It's not that on their own they write posts and they make claim, they love allegations. No, there's the government. Government machinery behind them. Government provides information to them. Sometimes they share advanced information because that is what government provides to them. So these are used by government as government's mouthpieces, unofficial mouthpieces of the government. And one of these activists, just a few minutes ago, let me welcome Uzil because he is one of my regular viewers who has been missing lately. Welcome, Uzil. You have not been seen here. Welcome back. One of such activists today made some alarming claims, very alarming. I mean, situation is already very complicated in Ethiopia that we are seeing a fight for dominance between Amhara and Oromo political elites. Conflict in Amhara region, armed conflict, strikes being conducted, Fano groups trying to turn into an army, talks collapsed between Ola and government in Oromia. So already there are so many problems, so many complexities when you want to understand the Ethiopian situation. More complexity is being added by pro-government elements. The government-backed activist claims that a Tigray general is planning assassinations in the capital city. Name of the general has been mentioned by this activist. His name is General Fisseha. I remember that General Fisseha was based in Sudan in the 2 year long war. He was not in Tigray. He did not fight on front lines. I think his task was to organize Tigrayans who had fled into Sudan from Tigray, and his second task was to contact Tigrinya-speaking ENDF members who were part of a peacekeeping mission, but they then refused to return to Ethiopia and they sought asylum in Sudan. Fissa's task was to contact disgruntled anti-Ethiopian government elements in Sudan. He contacted Kemets, he contacted Ola members too, he contacted Tigrayans too, and he tried to raise a TDF unit in Sudan. And that TDF unit, those TDF units tried to enter Volkai, Thumara from Sudan, but that effort did not succeed. Tigray fighters did try to launch a multi-front offensive on Volkai, Thumara Sagade from Takazé side from Sudan, but that offensive did not succeed. So I remember Fisseha was based in Sudan. Fisseha now is the head of security in Tigray. He's one of top men in Tigray, by the way, because if you remember a few days ago when 8 theft allegations were leveled by USAID and World Food Program against Tigray government officials, Ethiopian government officials, it was Fisseha who was tasked with conducting of an inquiry into these allegations. He conducted the inquiry and he said that dozens of people were involved in 8 theft. So he's one of top men. And if you remember, when a few weeks ago, opposition parties tried to protest in Mekelle, the rally was tortured by security forces. And back then we heard that it was Fisseha and others who planned to crush the opposition protest rally in Mekelle. That was the only rally by opposition parties. Journalists, opposition party workers were beaten, and then they went quiet after that. The PP activist is accusing Fisseha and a Colonel Tplf, that both are planning assassinations in the capital city. Assassinations of members of which group? Amhara officials. Amhara officials could be assassinated. Fisseha and Colonel Tplf are planning a conflict in Addis Ababa, it is being alleged. And the purpose is to create a conflict between Amharas and Oromos. Who is being used for these assassinations? Obviously, can TDF be used or some other elements are being trained? The PP activist claims that Kemets and Ola, he calls them Shene, Kemets and Ola are being trained and they will be involved in assassinations in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. And the assassinations will be blamed on Oromos. That will lead to Oromo-Amhara war. Tplf wants to gain from Oromo-Amhara war. This is what has been said a few minutes ago by an activist who has backing of Ethiopian military, Ethiopian government, and who was awarded a Medal of Honor by Ethiopian military a few weeks ago. Now, let's analyze this claim a little. Firstly, uh, the TPLF. What is TPLF's official position about the conflict between Oromo and Amharas or the operation in Amhara against Fano fighters? If you remember, we heard Gata Chorada a few weeks ago when he said our enemies are fighting. We should let them fight. They're destroying each other. So Oromo Amhara war or PP Eritrea war suits TPLF, suits TDF. TDF and TPLF maybe would like this war to continue or intensify. That is what the official remarks of Gata Choreda are. That is what he said. I read a video on that. But can we say that TPLF and TDF were planning assassinations in the Amhara region using Kemats and Ola? Exaggeration. Yes, Kemats have some. By the way, Kemats have long been accused of having the backing of TPLF. Kemats are Argos, basically. And Amhara groups, Amhara people have been accusing TPLF. It was TPLF, EPRDF, which created Kemant Ago armed factions to put pressure upon Amhara people. So Kemants have long been accused of having the backing of TPLF. Why would Ola be used? Ola, can we say that Ola is ready to be used by TDF? What will Ola gain? If Ola men assassinate Amhara people, Amhara notables in Addis Ababa, what will Ola gain from these assassinations? Oromo, Amhara direct fight, will it suit the Oromo Liberation Army? Because Ola is from Oromia. Ola people are Oromos mostly. Would they be part of this conspiracy? If there is no such conspiracy hashed by the TPLF, then why is that a government-backed activist is leveling such serious allegations against TPLF? I think what my understanding of the situation is that government is planning arrests in Addis Ababa. That is what I said yesterday too, that government has made some decisions. It wants to arrest pro-Fano elements. It is preparing the ground for these arrests. The ground always is that there are groups which want to stage coup. There are groups which want to create instability in the capital city. So government is preparing the ground for the coming large-scale arrests, which could start in coming hours or coming days. But the allegations against Fisseha are very alarming because the activist mentioned Fisseha by name. Tigray government will have to explain now. Fisseha will have to explain now what is he doing. Is he involved in any way in creating a conflict in Addis Ababa? And do these TPLF, TDF men have the reach to create conflict in Addis Ababa? They are restricted to Tigray only. They are fighting, they are faced with internal fighting. How can we say that they have so long arms that they can reach and create a conflict in Addis Ababa? Let's see. I personally think that today's accusations by a PP activists are part of a bigger plan by the government to start large-scale arrests in the capital city. Amhara people in the capital city will have to be very careful. Top Amhara people, top Amhara politicians, top Amhara officials could be under threat. And maybe government is threatening them indirectly by saying the TPLF wants to assassinate you. Maybe TPLF does not want to assassinate them. People in government want to remove them. But maybe TPLF is being used by the government elements to scare Amhara government officials. Overall, another layer of complexity has been added to the situation because we have only heard in this year from the government that elements from neighboring regions were trying to infiltrate Addis Ababa, mainly from Amhara. That armed gangs have been trying to enter Addis Ababa to create conflict here. But now another layer of complexity is being added by involving TPLF too, by involving Kemans too. Kemans are not known for having presence in Addis Ababa. Ola, yes, can have some sleeper cells here, but not Kemat. Now, Kemats are being involved, Ola is being involved, TPLF being involved, Fano groups already involved, that all are playing the role in creating chaos in the capital city. Now, I can take your questions and then we'll speak on the second news story, which is about the extension of the ultimatum given to Fano fighters. Liz Ilya says, Sajid, the one and only reliable source. Thank you, Liz. What is the goal of the government? Government's first goal is that it wants to crush Fano. And later, Ola. Government will try to talk to Ola, I think, but if Ola does not listen, then next target would be Ola. So far, government's prime target is Fano. It wants to crush Fano. It wants to crush all pro-Fano elements. Exaber says, Sajid, in Amhara history, no retreat or surrender. Have you seen dozens of Fano surrender even in Tegarai war? Well, I don't know, but people surrender in wars, by the way, it happens. But those who are supporters of Fano, they say Fano never surrender. That is what I heard by loyalists of TDF too, that Tigray people never surrender. But things change in conflicts, in wars. Sometimes people want to protect themselves. They want to be alive. So it happens. People surrender. It happens. But to say that not a single Fano has surrendered or it won't surrender, maybe it's an exaggeration. By the way, Fano groups are suffering losses. Today, I talked to a few people and I talked about the impact of drone strikes, air strikes on Fano groups. The man is a diehard supporter of Fano groups, and on condition of anonymity, he shared some details with me. Then I cross-checked the details. Yes, Fano groups have suffered some serious losses in the past few days. Now, it remains to be seen how high their morale is. How are they ready to continue the fight, or are they going to decrease the level of their operation? That we'll see. And I, by the way, concluded a few days ago that government's call for surrender, ultimatum for surrender, showed government strength. And that is what I think is the situation on the ground. Government is in a stronger position now. It knows that now it can maybe convince the people to surrender. This is the right time because Fano fighters are dying in some precise strikes. And testing phase for Fano. Let's see if Fano fighters can survive now. I wouldn't be premature in my judgment to conclude that foreign fighters will surrender or not. Let's wait a little, Exaber, I think. Eritrean Post, why do you trust Siam Teshome so much? No, I'm not talking about Siam Teshome, by the way. The activist who shared this post is not Siam Teshome. Shamso, you are cooking some atrocities to happen in the Tigrayans in Addis? Come on. I told you what the source of this information is. I'm trying to analyze this uh, post, and I gave you my analysis too. You're accusing me. Come on. Why do you think Abiy won't crush Ola? Yeah. Erethio says, why do you think Abiy won't crush Ola? I think Abiy knows that he should not take on all these armed groups simultaneously. TDF, not crushed, but weakened. Now Fano's turn. And after Fano, it would be Ola's turn, I think. Sammy S, isn't it dangerous to use immature analysts to talk conspiracy theories? These immature analysts have government backing, government is behind them. These conspiracy theories are not spread, rather, there is some agenda behind these theories. And these theories point towards the future scenarios, I think. I was referring to the government's use of them, Samia says. Okay, thanks for correction. Baka Garbi, TPLF's long days meeting brought nothing even about West Tigray. How can they accuse TPLF? By the way, I think meeting is still ongoing. TPLF meeting, a meeting with participation of TPLF, military commanders, and Tigray interim government officials. I think it's still ongoing. I could not confirm the conclusion of the meeting. Perhaps the longest meeting of Tigray parties in the past few uh, uh, years, rather. Thank you, Ambachio, for contribution, for this financial contribution. Thank you. Believe or not, Fano will defeat Abiy. Well, difference between you and me that I analyze developments on the ground. I make my judgments based on the ground situation. I don't blindly conclude because I am not an Ethiopian, I am not an Amhara, Tigray, or Oromo. I have no sensitivities involved there. I'm not from a particular ethnic group. So that is why I only monitor the developments on the ground and I draw conclusions. But some people who they have their emotions involved in support of one or the other parties. Your conclusion, maybe you can understand situation better than me, but we both analyze situations differently. So conclusions are bound to be different. LM Gizao, one of my members, has joined. LM says all groups know that the government is playing them against each other. They need to unite and work against the government, but they won't compromise with each other. Uh, yes, largely we can say that government wants to crush all these groups one by one. They tried to unite a little, by the way, when TDF was in Amhara, TDF backed Agos, TDF stuck an alliance with the Ola, and TDF had backing of some other groups too, from Sidam, I remember, one from Somali region as well. They signed a pact in the US, but that uh, alliance could not work. Even that alliance could not work. That was a big alliance. Now, smaller alliances, it's difficult for these alliances to be formed and to work, I think. Michael Assefa, how come movement of Fano in North and South Gondar area continue to be dormant? No, they're not dormant in South Gondar. Come on. South Gondar is not dormant. South Gondar is the stronghold. And I learned yesterday that the military sent large deployments, large units to South Gondar yesterday. South Gondar is totally destabilized, starting from Debre, Tabor to Este to Gashina. Gashina is in North Wallo. Vrata, Fano groups have their immense presence there. And they have made Gondar to Bahidar Road almost non-operational. Same is the case with Varata to Uldia Road. Yes, North Gondar relative calm there, if you compare North Gondar and South Gondar. Samuel is asking about the extension in the 7-day ultimatum. If government is strong, why did it extend the ultimatum? I'll respond to it, Samuel. David said you're underestimating fun. I'm not underestimating anyone. I'm just giving my analysis. Yini Musica, keep up the good work. Thank you, Yini. Can you make predictions? Torpedo says we can make predictions based on some analysis. Uh, Predictions are not always correct, but we can analyze developments. Analysis is better than a prediction because prediction sometimes is not based on analysis. We should analyze things and then draw conclusions about likely scenarios. Prediction without any basis does not make sense, I think. Dangabe says Abiy won't be able to make decisions in Addis without Ola approval in the coming years. I don't know about coming years, but so far, Ola is not a big player when it comes to making decisions in Addis Ababa. Now, let me speak a little about the second news story, which is about the extension in the ultimatum given to Fano fighters. A week ago, Ethiopian government, Amhara regional government, state of emergency board, all spoke saying that a week long ultimatum had been issued to Fano fighters. Fano fighters were given a week to surrender. And they were told that if they surrender, they will not be proceeded against. They won't face any criminal charges. They'll be given, they will not be held accountable for whatever they did. Religious leaders, government officials, politicians, all were told to welcome Vano fighters. Camps were established. And it was said that commanders, military commanders should talk to Fano groups through the mediation of notables to convince Fano fighters to surrender. And again, I would say that was the sign of strength of the government. Government was in a strong position, still in a strong position, I think, in their campaign has tilted the balance in favor of Ethiopian military in the Amhara region, I believe. Uh, a week has passed. Today, the mandate expired. And today, the government extended the mandate. Amhara regional media published a message a few hours ago saying that the call for surrender was producing results. That is why government has decided to extend the mandate for 1 week. And a regional government claimed that large number of fighters have surrendered in the Amhara region. Now, how many have surrendered? Where are those who have surrendered? No details, no pictures, no videos. But Amhara regional TV claimed today that a large number of fighters have surrendered. That is why government has decided to extend the ultimatum for a week. I have seen only a few pictures from Oromia so far. This morning, we saw pictures from Oromia. Oromia regional government issued a statement yesterday that around 70 Fano fighters have surrendered. The Oromia regional government confirmed the presence of Fano in Oromia. It happened in Dera. I think Dera is in North Shore, or if I am not wrong, North Shore or West Shore. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Dera has long been center of fighting between the Ola and Amhara forces there. Not forces, Amhara locals there. Locals have organized themselves in small armed units in Oromia. So these are local Oromia-based Fano groups, you can say. North Shore, Monitalk says that Dera is in North Shore. Okay, thank you, Moni. And in Dera, according to Oromia government, more than 70 Fano fighters surrendered today. And they surrendered in response to the call made by the government. This is the only report from state media so far in the last 7 days about Fano group that they are surrendering. I have not heard from Ethiopian National Defense Force, from Ethiopian federal government, from Amhara regional government that Fano groups have surrendered, Fano fighters have surrendered. Only one report, and even that is not from Amhara. That is from the Oromia region. So that is what we have learned so far. If large number of Fano fighters have surrendered, where are they? Where are they being kept? Why aren't they being shown? People would say maybe for the sake of protection of those who have surrendered, they're not being shown because a few weeks ago, a Fano commander surrendered and he was assassinated by his comrades. Maybe those who are surrendering, they won't be shown in public, but let's wait. I will have to wait. Rashid said, do you have a TikTok account? No, I don't have any TikTok account. But people share my videos there. I know. I don't have a TikTok account. Darn, he says, it is true, Mr. Sajid, many are surrendering. Well, we can only believe if these many are shown, if we know who they are, where did they surrender. So let's wait. Just a statement is not enough to prove that people are surrendering, Fano groups are surrendering. Let's wait then. Alim, they are better off turning themselves over to Ola than the Oromo government, and that's not sarcasm. Kalib says, what made you cut your hair and go with short hair? Well, I went on a pilgrimage with my parents. I told, I think, a few days ago. I was on a pilgrimage in the holiest cities in Islam, Makkah and Medina. My parents wanted to go on pilgrimage, so I accompanied them. And when Muslims offer Umrah, when they perform Umrah, after that they shave their heads. Peace for All says you need to surrender your green gloves. Well, if you are ready to take the gloves into custody, I'm ready to surrender. Empty. Sajid, why don't you tell your viewers Fano is losing? Come on. I have been reporting about the losses suffered by Fano groups in Don strikes, but uh, uh, it does not mean that I should blindly say that Fano has suffered irreparable losses and it's going to end. No, I only share what I learned from the ground. Yeni music, Sajid, only males shave their hair. Yes, you're right. Yes, yes. Alex Awoke, Sajid, today my comment annoyed you. No, no. But if a comment is a little offensive, which could be, which might not be liked by other viewers, I avoid reading the comment. Otherwise, I'm not uncomfortable with your comments. Torpedo is asking about Sudan. So, I'm not covering Sudan very minutely these days because of overwork here regarding coverage of Ethiopia and Eritrea. But in Sudan, RSF is expanding, new operations launched by RSF uh, towards Al Jazeera state, towards Darfur, Al Fashir, only city there which is under non RSF forces. And the biggest development there is the rising of diplomatic tensions between Sudan and the UAE. Chad, UAE on one side, Sudan on the other, and they are expelling each other's diplomats. Several diplomats have been expelled by UAE, Sudan, and Chad in the past few days. Peace for all, Sajid. Every time you shaved, you have been to Makkah. No, this was the first time that I went to Makkah with my parents. Khalid, how was the trip to Saudi Arabia? Well, I went there for the sake of my parents. My parents want to go there, so I accompanied them. Otherwise, I don't like the way this country, Saudi Arabia, operates. A country where there is no equality cannot claim to be leading the Muslim world. There's no equality there, by the way. Saudi residents have more rights than others. And I saw that non Saudis were doing cleaning work, etc. No Saudis were there cleaning. So it wasn't good to see there what I saw there, but it wasn't surprising for me. That is why perhaps these Muslim countries, despite having sources, are far behind because uh, they don't give equal rights to the people. No democracy. So Arabia is not a role model for me. Siga is asking about season in Pakistan. It's winter here. Fogs, winter. How much Fano pay you now? Will they pay me while I'm saying that they are suffering losses? Do you think others, excluding Amhara and Oromia, PP will take part between the two elephants? Say something. Oh, very important question, by the way. What about others? Because mostly we talk about Oromo, Amhara, Tigray ethnic groups when it comes to national politics in Ethiopia. I think other ethnic groups should try to be influential as well. I mean, Somalis are not given their due place. Afars too, but even Somalis more than that. They're big in number, still they're not as influential as other groups are in Ethiopia. But power is being held by Oromos and Amharas. And Tigrayans, I say, Oromos junior partners now. LM is asking a question which is going to lead towards a new debate. Are secular countries more progressive than non-secular ones? Baka said, do you think situation in Ethiopia is worsening or better since 2021? Well, only guns have been silenced in Ethiopia. That is what the only achievement is. Last year, Pretoria deal was signed. Otherwise, conflicts have not been resolved. No lasting solution to disputes have been found so far. Overall, Ethiopia is not on the right track, I think. Tarigo, do you think that, do you believe Fano is fighting to create independent Amhara state? Well, they don't say that. Official position of Fano groups is that they are fighting for a democratic, representative Ethiopia. They want to be in Addis Ababa. They want to have a government of their choice in Addis Ababa. They're not fighting for secession. So once we saw a map by some pro-Fano elements, which I showed in a video as well. The map showed a separate Amhara per country. But that map was later rejected by most of Fano groups. They believe they are true heirs to Ethiopia, that they should have entire Ethiopia and they should rule in alliance with other groups. 51 minutes have passed, viewers. I think we should end this live chat session. Maskaram is asking about how many Fano leaders killed for you to say they are suffering losses. Yes, Fano commanders have not been killed. You're right. But uh, Fano fighters have been killed. And commanders are nothing without fighters, by the way. I kept on saying since May that Fano was not suffering any losses. No commanders were dying. Still, no commanders dying. But now I know that those who are being led by commanders are dying. Uh, Hundreds have been killed, I would say, since the start of this air campaign. Hundreds. I wouldn't say thousands. I'm not saying dozens. I'm saying hundreds have been killed. Thank you for joining this live chat session. I think we should here end the session. Have you performed Hajj? Akmal says, no, I haven't. Thank you for joining this live chat session. It was good to be with you. I tried to respond to your questions. We just spoke on two developments, claims about involvement of TPLF in creating chaos in Addis Ababa, and secondly, deadline for the surrendering of Fano has been extended by 1 week. Government says large number of Fano fighters have surrendered, but that needs verification. Can government substantiate its claim by showing these fighters who have surrendered? That remains to be seen. Rasta not happy. You cannot answer my questions. I did not see your question, by the way, Rasta. Tomorrow I'll be here on daily basis. I do live chat. So if I could not respond to your questions tomorrow, I'll try to respond to your question. Thank you for being with me in this live chat. See you tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.